Welcome to the solo Final Fantasy XIV challenge. This is solo only, and from the very beginning, we have clawed our way past some of the most difficult fights this game can offer, all while never using the market board, parties, or NPC support, and using level sync or silence echo whenever it's possible. Again and again, I've been told this was impossible, but no matter how hard it got, we've always prevailed. And now, standing on the other side of the impossible trial, Susano, it's time to move forward towards our final goal, Endwalker. Maybe something stops us before then, brings this whole thing crashing down, but until we see that with our own hands, we continue down this long, winding road to whatever impossible wall comes next. Qitana is down. It's really, truly finished. The first of the big three fights in Shadowbringers is complete. From here, things finally get easier. The second of our big three trials is Hades, but we won't be seeing him until the end of the base expansion. Our next target is something much more doable.
Golly Willikers, if I had not logged in yesterday, Solo would no longer own a house. But thankfully, I logged in yesterday.
But first, our weekly Wondrous Tales.
It's time for Rat to explain Pot of Greed again? No, this is going to be like a 2-second clip, alright? I'm just going to pull it straight from stream. Hello video, hello YouTube video gamers. This is me, Wrath Games from the stream checking in because everybody is saying that I'm going to do another Wondrous Tales explanation. I'm not doing that this time. Look, there's a new Wondrous Tales change. Now I can just right click the duty and it pops up. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool, chat? Look at the Woah!
Also, just a quick note, a lot of people have reminded me that there is a new notorious ad phase in this game with the Yans. And while I might agree, they're a Dawntrail Savage raid. Everyone has to do Qitana. You chose to do the Yans. That's your fault.
This is the perfect 3-line setup, okay? We've taken a step in the wrong direction. 3% chance at 2 lines and a 33% chance at 1 line. I think we'll shuffle it. Congratulations! It got noticeably worse. Wowie zowie, dude. What the heck what am I looking at?
Warrior is level 97. Time for the first MSQ progress in a month. Entering the Raktika Greatwood, our crafting options expand once more, and the first dungeon of the day, the Qitana Ravel, is unlocked.
Alright everybody, it's been a great time. Have a good one. I will see you on Sunday for the Qitana Ravel clear. Before we get to the Qitana Ravel, I need some me time. That wasn't it. But this one is it. That was not. Nope. I need that Cactuar dead. Otherwise, I have lost. It's over. It's over. I'm restarting. It's over. I'm restarting. Hold on. Are we wearing the tight shirt or are we wearing the loose shirt?
Now that I've finished dating this video with clothing releases, we can finally get started on the important stuff. Entering the dungeon on level sync, we're already in the strongest gear I can get. The only real upgrades we could consider are food buffs, so if I couldn't clear this now, we'd be forced over to silence echo. The first enemy we face is a mini-boss, the Ronkin Dreamer. Wrath of the Ronka tethers them to the statues at each side of the arena. Any tethered statue will send out a damaging beam as soon as the cast ends. There are 2 walls you can use to block the beams and avoid damage. And while that might be the extent of the mechanics in this fight, there is one other issue: time. Final Fantasy XIV allots 90 minutes for players to complete a dungeon. If your time runs out, you are immediately kicked out without exception. And the very first enemy just took 5 minutes. With 3 bosses, my basis for time is, at most, 15 minutes to get to a boss, 10 minutes to beat it, and 20 minutes for the final boss. One singular enemy just took a third of our time, and I had many more before the first boss. It's time to pull out some desperate tactics. Normally, I can't survive big pulls of enemies and have to take them down one group at a time, but for a dungeon so willing to run out the clock, I had to try. Waiting on my healing abilities to come back, we run for space and weave in damage whenever we can, but one small slip is all it takes. We had lost 3 minutes, and I had no progress to show for it. so we're back to small groups. In past dungeons, my upper limit is 4 enemies at once. So, with only 3 remaining before another mini-boss, we sneak by an optional one and start the fight. Their damage was low enough that we could survive, and by the time they fell, the Ronkin Dreamer had lost 15% of its health from AoEs. 21 minutes gone to 2 mini-bosses, and to make things even worse, that optional enemy wasn't actually optional, forcing us to go back and kill it before the door to the boss opened.
Aw, come on! Are you kidding me? I gotta beat up the little cube guy? I was skipping the cube guy for a reason. This was gonna be my strategy. Get the heck over here. How are you gonna make me kill the cube man?
8 minutes behind schedule, we reach the first boss, Lazadal. Suntoss is a small targeted AoE to dodge. Lazadal's Scorn is a raid-wide, hitting everyone in the arena for 4,000 damage and activating one of the Ronkin statues. An active statue will explode after a short delay, cleaving half of the arena. Then, Lazadal moves to the center for Heat Up, setting one half of his body ablaze. Lazadal's Fury smashes the ground with his flaming arm, once again cleaving half the arena. And Stonefist is a tank buster, dealing 8,000 damage. The rest of the fight is a dance with Lazadal using his Fury alongside the Ronkin statues, leaving only a corner of the arena safe from his attacks. But just like the Roadster from Castromabania, a boss that's all dodging is as easy as it gets. Though we've lost yet more time and are now 9 minutes behind. There's no mini-boss in the next section, so we rush on and reach the Bat Squatch with 43 minutes remaining. Ripperfang is a tank buster, dealing 6,000 damage. Subsonics is a fast and weak raid-wide that hits 12 times and brings rocks and stalactites crashing down from above. Followed by Soundwave for another 3,000 damage and bringing all the stalactites crashing down. Though the bat dealt high damage, it fell just as easily as the last, and we're on the final stretch with 30 minutes left. Once again, no mini-boss, but the ads here are nothing like the previous sections. One pull was strong enough to kill me. And right before the end, I'm forced to handle 2 groups at once, with the gorillas rushing into the fight as the Forgiven Thievery get low. 2 deaths that I could not afford. Making it back, it's only that first spawn that forces the gorillas onto you, so we can pull the last Thievery from a distance and fight them all safely. With a punch so powerful it killed my recording, the last ads are down, and we reach the final boss, the Light Warden Eros. The fight starts with Rend, a tank buster, dealing 8,000 damage. Then, Hound Out of Heaven puts a pink tether on a target. If you don't get far enough away to turn the tether purple, you take increased damage and get a vulnerability up debuff. Glossolalia is a raid-wide for 3,000 damage, and Viper Poison drops puddles of venom around the arena. Then, Eros jumps to one side and casts Inhale, pulling everything towards it, followed by Heaving Breath, pushing everything away. One more tank buster, Eros jumps again, this time casting Confession of Faith, a party stack while charging its heads. As the heads on either side light up, cones of lightning will shoot out to its left and right as the party stack hits for 16,000 damage. Another Hound Out of Heaven, Viper Poison begins again, this time with one of the puddles aimed at me. Much more of the arena is covered in venom for these casts. And then, the final Confession of Faith. This time, Eros charges the main head, sending out a blast of flame in front of it. Every 90 seconds, we'd be hit with another tank buster for half my health. With no healing left, we fall to a battle of attrition, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway. I started the fight at 10 minutes remaining and died after 5 minutes and 30 seconds. In that time, I had only done 38% of Eros' health, just about 7% a minute, meaning I needed a minimum of 14 minutes and 17 seconds. I lost before the fight even started. One more try, we save a whole minute on the first Ronkin Dreamer, get through the next ads with no deaths, and reach Lazadal in just 14 minutes. Lazadal falls right on time, 65 minutes remaining, and the Bat Squatch falls with 37. This time around, for the final ads, I take them out one at a time. It's slower, but reduces the damage they can deal by thinning their numbers. And for the final set of gorillas, it works even better, allowing us to kill nearly 2 out of 3 of the first wave before they start to fight. Kiting and slipping back in to pick them off, we've cleared the final enemies with no deaths, and reach Eros once again with 19 minutes left. A few close calls later, Eros falls with 2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining. Okay. Easy peasy. 87-minute swift completion bonus. Thank you, video game. I am the fastest Qitana raveler in existence. With the ravel beaten, we can head towards the goal for this video, Malikah's Wall. But first, another week means another Wondrous Tales.
To be that close to 3 lines and get not a singular line hurts just a little bit.
And not quite level 98, just about 3 million experience off. The MSQ finally allows us to reach the western half of Amarang, and Malikah's well is unlocked. There was a bit more to it, like Thancred beating up someone's grandpa, but no spoilers for the MSQ here. It's time for dungeon delving. Or it would be, but that blue mage spell I mentioned needing last video is right over here, so we grab Shiltron first. And now it's time for dungeon delving. Also, we still haven't recovered from that gorilla punch earlier, so chat will be on screen for a bit longer. The enemies here are just as slow to kill, but no mini-bosses means we reach the first boss, the Greater Armadillo, right on time. All the bosses so far have been easy, so it's time for a wake-up call. Stone Flail is a tank buster, dealing 14,000 damage and dropping rocks from the ceiling. Head Toss is a party sack, dealing another 12,000 damage and leaving the mace end of its tail wherever it hits. Then, Right Round has the Armadillo jump to its mace tail and spin, dealing damage to anyone nearby, before smashing the center of the arena with a proximity AoE. And then sending a cascading shockwave, forcing you to run back to the center. All of this in just 45 seconds. And it only gets worse with the Armadillo's ad phase. The pack Armadillos hit with weak auto attacks and cast Rehydration, buffing their damage for 30 seconds. Alongside these new ads, the Armadillo repeats its 45-second spam of attacks. These ads are a curse, draining the small bits of health I had and forcing me to deal less damage to the boss, but at the same time, a blessing. The boss dealt such extreme amounts of damage that if I was in a one-on-one, I'd die to lack of healing and be forced to silence Echo. But with the pack Armadillos, I can use them to get extra health from Raw Intuition, an ability that heals me for every target I hit while it's active. A small increase in damage taken for 3 times the healing. Every cycle pushed us closer and closer to the edge until the Armadillo finally claims round 1.
Yeah, wow, okay. That is, absolutely insane.
This wasn't a dungeon boss. For the healing and damage mitigation it required, this was closer to a trial. And as one final stab, this boss took an incredibly long time to kill. The extra healing from the ads was great, but if I didn't kill them, more would spawn. I couldn't just ignore it. It had taken 15 minutes to do 50% of the boss's health. A marathon like no other. The Armadillo falls, and I've used half my dungeon time on one fight.
Now we've got to race against time. I hope this is the right direction.
One small time save. The Welholdu are the ideal enemy. Once I get them down to 30% health, they start casting self-destruct, with each cast dealing 10% damage, so they take care of themselves. We burn another 10 minutes and reach the Bucket Talos. A Face is a tank buster, dealing 8,000 damage. Wellbore is a large AoE that drills into the center of the arena and spawns 4 geysers, followed by High Pressure trying to knock you back into them. Then, the final mechanic, Swift Spill, has the Talos spin in a circle, shooting a cone of damage in front of itself at each turn. Given plenty of time to use my high damage abilities, the Talos falls, and we've got 25 minutes left. In my desperation to save as much time as I can, I face off against a group of 4 enemies and don't heal fast enough. No way it didn't give me my heal. Alright, it's over. A death at this point guarantees we run out of time. But we can still see the final boss's mechanics. As the last enemy falls, we've made it to the end and our battle with Storage. Without question, the easiest Light Warden we've fought. Heretic's Fork sends out beams of light in each cardinal direction. Breaking Wheel hits the entire arena except a small safe space under the boss, and Crystal Nail drops 4 feathers around the arena. Heretic's Fork once again, then Censure, copying whatever cast the boss just used to each of the nails. They resolve ever so slowly, giving plenty of time to dodge and focus on damage. And last, Intestinal Crank, a raid-wide dealing 5,000 damage. That is the entire fight. There's nothing left, no tricks, no threats, just dodging. But our failure at the Armadillo would not so easily be forgotten. That is a time-lost instance. We lost to time. But even after spending 45 minutes on the Armadillo, we were close. Just 30% left. I was right there. Now, we know there's only one real threat in all of Malikah's well. If I could beat the Armadillo with no deaths, we'd clear the dungeon guaranteed. A new day, feeling refreshed. It's time to clear the well. Oh, man. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. Yet another Light Warden has fallen. Thank you very much. 87 minutes and 14 second swift first time completion. Oh man, okay. I don't know what to do. Oh, what is that? We got a creature! We got a little boy! Oh, my little man! Hello, sir, my son, my child! I will take the minion. I will take the victory. 87-minute first time completion. Get me out of this dungeon. After suffering with the Armadillo, you got one of your own. You know what? That means it was all worth it. I'm going to name you Armadillo. Congratulations, Armadillo. RS3 gamers, we're finally winning exactly. The deed is done. The easy part has come to an end. Now, we press on once more towards Mount Golg and the second trial of Shadowbringer's innocence.